On the Radio is brought to you by Zurich Insurance, the perfect place to catch up with all things Melbourne. If you enjoy this content and want more inside access from the team, make sure you visit the club website.
Well, it's preliminary final week and we need to check in with the two teams that had the weekend off. Melbourne today. We'll catch up with Port Adelaide as well. The General Manager of Football Performance, Alan Richardson, joins us, who I believe is on a push-up, trying to break the push-up record in quarantine and looking pretty sharp. Richo, welcome.
Yeah, good morning, guys. No, that's a fair way from the truth. I'm just trying really hard. That's about it.
I am told you're doing plenty every single day down there at Joondalup. How is the setup down there?
No, it's really good. Yeah, we're not far from the training ground. There's a bit for the boys to do when it is they're having their breaks. There's a little walking track that certainly Jake Lever's just about worn out. There's a pool for the boys to get in, and there's an area, a big common area where the guys can hang out. Got a table tennis table, big screen for footy games and that sort of stuff. So it's a really good setup.
So what was the philosophical approach? You got a weekend off, clearly leading into the weekend just gone. Is the training backed off a bit, or is it the intensity backed off, or do you try and take a day or two just to get away from footy, or how have you approached it?
Yeah, a bit of all of the above, Gaz. We didn't want to do too much. There was certainly a very little focus on footy with respect to meetings. It was just get what we needed to get done physically. Make sure we had a bit of fun. The boys took the golf clubs down to the Joondalup Oval. We took down one of those machines that shoots the basically made for NFL balls, but we chucked the Aussie rules balls in. There was a bit of soccer, all really good activities designed to get the boys moving, but also to have a bit of fun. But then Friday, so a couple of days ago now, three days ago now, the boys got cracking at a really solid hit out with similar numbers to that of a game, with respect to distance covered and high speed and intensity, etc. It was quite a physical session, clearly with a strong element of common sense in terms of looking after your mate. But that was designed to be a week out so we could get in the routine now of recover, meet, opposition, focus, into this coming Friday night.
Hey, Richo, further to that, like everybody's in uncharted waters now, and normally the cliche is we're only looking at one game at a time. But as a football club, as a team, and as far as like the staff go, you've got to look at, okay, you've got to play this week and then you're going to have 2 weeks off, and how much training do we put into the players, that type of thing. I mean, there are some unbelievable complexities and unknowns about all this, aren't there?
Yeah, no, you're right, Tim. The absolute focus is on the game coming up, and then and of course those that, we clearly want the players just to be focusing that way, but yeah, those that are organising things behind the scenes, whether that be training loads, whether that be accommodation could shift and change depending on who gets through out of the game in Adelaide, because that team will then, if it's the Bulldogs, they'll need one of these bigger facilities that they can quarantine in. So there's certainly some ongoing challenges, but I think most footy clubs are just used to it now, Tim. That's the new norm, that you've got to be agile, and even if that's going to happen in grand final week, and we hope that's the case for us, then you just got to get ready to shift and move and prepare as best you can.
Talking to Melbourne's GM of Football Performance, Alan Richardson. Richo, did all the players sit down and watch both semi-finals together over the weekend?
Yeah, the coaches went and we went and sat down on our own. But yeah, no, the players were together. They were in the big common room that I was referring to earlier. The games obviously are on 2 hours earlier over here, so at half time it was around 6:30. So everyone had rush in and get some dinner, and then either get back to their seat in the common room if amongst the playing group, or the coaches went back into. We had Goody's room. Goody's got the big room that's probably about 4 times as big as all the rest of us. So we all jumped in there, and it was good. It was good to finally know who we're playing against, and an amazing game. The Brisbane Bulldogs game the other night. That certainly got the boys up and about.
Richo, so then the next question is the healthy nature of your list, and I think everyone's just about right. You might be able to tell us differently. There was a report that Alex Neil-Bullen had a bit of a calf bandage of some sort on. Can you sort that out for us?
Yeah, just a corky, Gaz. So that came out of that sort of scratch match we played on Friday. No, he'll be fine. Yeah, and as you can appreciate, we're just going to take all sorts of precautions, whether he needs to run laps with a bandage or just miss a couple of early drills within sessions early in the week. But no, we have our main session Tuesday, and he'll do everything. He's right to go.
So is there anyone not ready? So Jaden Hunt was the other one. So can you tell us if there's anyone that's not on the sort of whiteboard at some stage?
No, Hunty's. When Hunty played for us, we really liked what he did. He, obviously his defence is really strong because of his speed. He's able to cover any of the stuff that might get out the back. So we like Hunty in the team. Young Bowie has come into the team and done a really good job. He, hasn't played a lot of footy, but he's a really composed player that's got incredibly clean hands, and we like what he does for us back there. So it'll be a matter of time for Hunty. He'll need to train really well on Tuesday. I think we'll have match committee after that session to make sure everyone's pulled up okay, and we get the tick off from the conditioning staff and the medical staff. And clearly, just from a performance perspective, we're happy with the way everyone's moving. But Hunty will definitely be in the mix. We'll just have to wait and see on that one.
Hey, Richo, you don't want to get ahead of yourself. I understand that, but the question is, you win this weekend. Do you stay in the same accommodation all the way through to the grand final, or do you have an option of shifting somewhere else and maybe being less restricted than what you currently are as a group?
It's a good question, Tim. It's we posed the question to the leaders, and they were pretty mixed, to be honest. The reality is that after the game this week, so if it is we earn the right to go through, which that's what we're planning for, then we do have the freedom. Even if we stay here at Joondalup, the guys can get out of the cars and get out and about. They're basically just treated like a Perth citizen because they've done their 14 days quarantine. But, right. There was a school of thought, would it be good to shift and relocate and just change things up? But the guys really like it here. The food's outstanding. The way that people look after our group is just been first class. So our want would be to stay. But I mentioned earlier that if the Bulldogs, for example, if they were to win their prelim against Port Adelaide, they'll be needing a facility not unlike this one. And my understanding is there's only two. There's one in Freo that the Cats are in at the minute, this one at Joondalup. And Port Adelaide, if they were to win, they'd probably stay home. I don't really know, to be honest, and just come over for the GF. But the Bulldogs might need this facility, so then we'd be looking for somewhere else.
All academic, of course, given that there's a massive one on Friday night to get over the top of, and Geelong would be thinking exactly the same way. We can't wait for it. It's going to be an absolute beauty. Do you think the Perth crowd's going to get behind the Demons or behind the Cats?
We're doing a bit of work on that. Certainly Purdy and his crew are, there's been a lot of ticket sales in terms of members that have joined up at the last minute to make sure they can get access, but that's terrific. We're Riv and Jacko and Cozzy, they'll certainly have their extended family here in big numbers, and of course Goody's got a few coming over from SA, given that corridor is open. So no, we're hoping to have a bit of noise there.
Good luck. It's going to be great. We're looking forward to it against the Cats on Friday night.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Tim.
Thanks, Richo.